Have you ever felt like you're in the middle of a storm with no end in sight? The Apostle Paul knew that feeling all too well, literally. Let us dive into one of the most incredible survival stories ever told. Paul as shipwreck on the way to Rome. Our story begins with Paul, a prisoner on a ship bound for Italy. He wasn't just any passenger, he was on his way to stand trial before Caesar. The voyage started well enough, but Paul had a bad feeling. He warned the ship's captain and the Roman centurion in charge, Julius, that sailing on was a terrible idea. Winter was coming, and the seas were getting dangerous. He said, "Men, I can see that our voyage is going to be disastrous." But the captain, eager to reach a better harbor, convinced the centurion to press on. And that's when their real trouble began. A monster storm, a northeaster they called the Euroclydon, slammed into them. This wasn't just a bit of bad weather, it was a full-blown hurricane. For days, they were tossed about on the violent sea with no sight of the sun or stars to guide them. The wind howled, the waves crashed over the deck, and the ship was completely at the mercy of the storm. They threw cargo overboard, then even the ship's tackle, just to lighten the load and stay afloat. Hope was fading fast. Everyone on board, 276 people, had given up on being saved. They stopped eating, just waiting for the inevitable. But Paul wasn't just anyone. In the darkest hour of the storm, on the 14th night, something amazing happened. An angel of the God he served stood beside him and said, "Do not be afraid, Paul. You must stand trial before Caesar, and God has graciously given you the lives of all who sail with you." Think about that. In the middle of chaos, a message of absolute certainty and hope. The next morning, Paul stood before the terrified crew and passengers. He told them about the angel's visit and urged them, "Keep up your courage, because not one of you will be lost. Only the ship will be destroyed. I have faith in God that it will happen just as he told me." He then broke bread, gave thanks to God in front of everyone, and started to eat. Seeing his confidence, the others were encouraged and began to eat as well. His calm faith was contagious. As they drifted, the sailors sensed they were approaching land. Fearing they'd be smashed against rocks, they dropped for anchors from the stern. But some of the sailors had a selfish plan. They pretended they were lowering more anchors from the front of the ship, but really, they were trying to escape in a lifeboat and save themselves. Paul saw right through it. He went straight to the centurion and said, "Unless these men stay with the ship, you cannot be saved." The soldiers immediately cut the ropes to the lifeboat, letting it drift away. Everyone's fate was now tied together. Just before dawn, as the ship was being torn apart by the waves, they saw a bay with a sandy beach. This was their chance. They cut the anchors, untied the rudders, and aimed for the shore. But the ship struck a sandbar and got stuck fast. The front was lodged tight, while the back was being shattered by the pounding surf. The soldiers' first instinct was to kill the prisoners, including Paul, to prevent them from escaping. But the centurion, Julius, wanting to spare Paul's life, stopped them. He ordered everyone who could swim to jump overboard and head for land. The rest grabbed onto planks and other pieces of the wreckage, and what was the result? Exactly as God had promised through the angel. Every single person, all 276 of them, made it safely to shore, soaked, exhausted, but alive. They found themselves on an island called Malta, where the local people showed them extraordinary kindness, building a fire to warm them from the rain and cold. Paul's story isn't just a dramatic adventure. It's a powerful reminder that even when the storms of life are raging, when everything seems lost, there can be a source of unshakable hope. Faith isn't about avoiding storms. It's about knowing who is with you in the middle of them. It's about trusting the promise, even when you can't see the shore. Thanks so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires. See you next time.